it's Ashley from Ashley's Reads on Twitter or Fiction and Fantasy on Instagram, and I am here to tell you guys about the books that I read in December. In December, I decided to take part in 2 readathons because the ClearurShit Readathon was for 2 months, so it was only the second half, and that was a really terrible decision considering it was the holidays and Michael had just gotten home and I ended up being sick for what felt like 2 weeks of it. I just felt off and tired, and I was in a very long reading slump thanks to trying to read Dragonfly and Amber, which you guys will finally get to hear me stop talking about in a couple of videos because it will make an appearance in a video after this. So, but that's pretty much what I decided to do in December, and this video isn't going to be as long as the others because frankly I didn't get a lot of reading done in December, and that is okay. The first readathon, as I mentioned, was part 2 of the ClearurShit Readathon. There were 24 prompts, and 3 of them were based on your traits that you picked in the beginning, like your strength, your weakness, and your weapon. I thought that this was a very neat and a very well thought out readathon, and I was very glad that I got to take part in it. I finished 13 of those 24 books, so that's really not bad at all. I actually did meet my goal because my goal was to read 12 of those. I knew that I wouldn't actually make it through 24, especially because I knew November and December would be the busiest months of the year for me. So that was really nice, and I guess I died. I was defeated in battle, but I think everyone else was defeated in battle, and round 2 is going to be, I assume, in 2021, and we will be trying to battle our way out of hell, I think, or whatever afterlife we ended up with. So that I will definitely consider taking part in because this one was really fun, and it was run, I think, by Maas and by Elle, and as always, whenever I talk about the readathons, they are linked in the description below, so check that out on Twitter if you're interested. I will talk about those, and the other one that I took part in was the Reindeer Readathon. I did not print that out, but it was really fun. My favorite part about the Reindeer Readathon, since I was very passively involved, I did talk in the Twitter group chat a little bit, and that was the first time that I had ever even learned that you could do group chats on Twitter. I just aged myself a little, but it's fine. That was really fun, but my favorite part was getting to meet my team leader. I was in Team Nutcracker, and her name is Donna. I will link her down below as well, but she is such a sweetheart, and I subscribe to her YouTube channel, and I think that this actually is going on now, but when I looked into it, she was starting a book club, maybe a romance book club, and for January everyone is reading These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong, I believe, so I did try to put that on my January TBR, although I don't think I will be getting to it, but that's another video. And I think in February they're all reading A Court of Silver Flames, which I pre-ordered already, so I would love to take part in that after I finish my reread of the currently out books. So yeah, that is for the Reindeer Readathon. There were, oh my goodness, it was either 9 or 12 prompts. And I only read 5 books in December. So obviously I only did 5 prompts, but I'll tell you guys about the books that I finished. I will not be taking a penalty roll this month because the year is ending and I want to give myself a fresh start. And I did actually meet my goal with the ClearurShit Readathon, which was the main readathon that I was involved in. So we're going to give myself a free pass. Anyway, let's talk about the books. We're gonna go from least to best. The book that I liked the least was called Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? I gave this book 1 star, and that is a little too high for it. It was one of the first mangas that I've ever read, and I did read in some of the reviews that it was supposed to be kind of satire based on like the stereotype of what mangas are, or what people think the mangas are. So I don't know if that was true, but it was very just like raunchy, like I was reading like a 12-year-old boy's fantasy, a 12-year-old boy who's really into anime's fantasy. And it was, I've said that books are bad before, but this book was so bad that over Christmas I read this out loud to my siblings and we cracked up laughing Like, we were 12-year-olds with our faces turning red because our parents could overhear us reading this, and it was trash. So yeah, that was rough. I borrowed that book in a physical version from my little brother Noah, who also took part in the ClearurShit Readathon with me, and that one counted as a character that you want to fight in the ClearurShit Readathon. This book, I really did want to fight the main character. He was such a like chosen one trope, which is one of my least favorite tropes. And I picked Rudolph prompt because that is where the main character is an outsider. And he's very much like, oh, I am an outsider. I am not like anyone else at all. I am all alone. No one loves me. No one cares about me. But I will be the best and the most powerful and have every single woman I've ever laid eyes on. And every single woman that this 12-year-old boy with literally no skills in the beginning who lays eyes on him is in love with him. It was really like a Fedora Guy manga. It was bad. And the worst part is, I would almost read the second one just so that I could figure, just so I could know what happens, just to make fun of it more with my family, because it was good bonding material. Oh yeah, it was really bad, guys. Okay, I am on my third battery pack. The last one just randomly turned off without any notice of being low. I've received 2 phone calls, and I forgot to turn my phone on Do Not Disturb, and I spilled my glass of water. So we're just gonna try and make it through this video. 2020 is really coming to bite me in this last 2020 video. So I told you about how is it wrong to catch girls, to try to pick up girls in a dungeon. The next one that I read was Noragami, which was also a manga. I read volume 1 with my brother. That one counted as the Dasher prompt in the Reindeer Readathon, which I think I got cut out earlier. Here are my cute little reindeer earrings, if you can see them. It was a one-word title, Noragami. I think it's by Adachitoka. And it has a magical object in it for the ClearurShit Readathon prompt. The magical object is, I don't know if Noragami is his name. God, I really don't remember anything because I read it over Christmas break. But essentially there is a stray god. I think he's trying to become a full-fledged god again. We don't really know anything about his background, but he fights off these like dark spirits or like evil spirits, monsters. There's some term I can't remember. With his sword, and his sword I think is actually a spirit that agreed to be a sword, so it's actually a person, and that makes it sort of this magical object, like it can just decide not to be his sword anymore or something like that. It was interesting, but I did give it 2 stars. I may try the second one. There are a lot of like triggering topics in it, even like literally the very first scene. I was really surprised by just how crass and blunt it was with some of those triggers that are not things that you would see in young adult fiction, especially not with like some sort of like apology or something about why it was wrong. And so that did surprise me, and I don't know that I would recommend it to others. Just based off what I read in the first volume. If you're into manga, I don't even know like what a good manga is, so I couldn't tell you if it was good or not. But I may read volume 2, and we'll see how it goes. The next one that I read was Letters from Father Christmas by Tolkien, and it was just a collection of letters from like 1940 and onward that he wrote to his children pretending to be Father Christmas. And he drew like these beautiful photos for them every year, and he wrote like in a specific handwriting for different characters that he was pretending to be. Like there was a polar bear who wrecked everything and caused havoc, and goblin armies, and the children would write letters back. So that was really cute. I read that because I was doing a holiday like activities calendar of things that you can still do to celebrate in 2020, and it suggested reading a Christmas book. And since I was reading a bunch of manga and Dragonfly and Amber, it was really nice to read something that was actually kind of like festive and just jolly. But it wasn't, you know, I was more reading it for a prompt. So I would give it 3 stars. And then that one counted as Donner for the Reindeer Readathon because, like I said, it had art all throughout the book as the chapter headings, in between the chapters, every other page, lots of doodles. Second to last one that I read was Avatar: The Last Airbender, Katara and the Pirate's Silver. This is number 0 in the Atla comic books or graphic novels, and I think it just came out in October. It follows, I want to say it was directly after the series, the TV show ended, and Katara falls off of Momo. Oh my god, did I just forget his name? Appa. Falls off of Appa and goes missing, so the usual gang is looking for her, and she ends up on this like island or something that is controlled by the Fire Nation, and she has to get away, but she can only do that if she works with a group of pirates. That is a very difficult situation for her to get through. Does she stop being lawful good, or does she stay stuck on the island forever? And it was very fun. I gave it technically 3.75 stars because it wasn't as interesting as the last one that I read, but it was still really good. So I just rounded it up to 4 stars. That one was magic, a book with magic in it for the ClearurShit Readathon. It was under Blitzen for the Reindeer Readathon because it was a fast read. The final one I read was Olive Bright Pigeoneer by Stephanie Graves. I just finished this one a few days ago, and it was one of my favorite books that I have read. Definitely my favorite of December, and I think my favorite after Crooked Kingdom maybe. So this one might be a finalist for my top books of the year. I'm gonna try and make a video out of that, but judging by how this one goes, this one went today, we'll see. But Olive Bright Pigeoneer follows Olive Bright, who is watching her older brother who went off to war, and I can't remember if he died or not, but he hasn't come back. And now her guy best friend, George, is also going off to war. This is set during World War II. It's a historical fiction. Olive really wants to take part, but she has to stay at home because her stepmother is increasingly more frail and unhealthy, and she needs to take care of her. I really liked, I forgot to put this in my review, I really liked that this book has a stepmother who's not just like the evil Cinderella stepmother, because I feel like that trope is so overdone. Like anytime there's a stepmother, she's murdersome. So I really liked that. I liked her stepmother, and honestly every character was very interesting in this book. But because she has to stay home, she's very upset about it. They're trying to get their pigeons into the NPS, the National Pigeon Service, because they are using the pigeons as messengers in the war efforts. And Olive, instead of getting to do either one of those goals, ends up with 3 very different tasks at hand, involving some sort of like spy organization that wants to use her pigeons. She needs to take care of some piglets. There's a murder that happened. There's a play that is recruiting, and it sounds like, just saying it sounds kind of crazy, but it was really interesting. It was very cozy. I love just getting all my work done and then coming home and sitting down and just opening this book up for a month, and it was really, really nice. And I even got this cute little pamphlet that came with it that has like recipes and historical notes and notes from the author. I got this from Bookish First and Kensington Books, and I am so excited. I would love to read something more by Stephanie Graves. She also goes by Alyssa Goodnight, but I haven't read any of her books there. And oh, you can even see, this was the last book that I reviewed, so I have it on my messenger board for its 4.5 stars. I really liked everything. There was like, I don't want to say, it wasn't entirely enemies to lovers. It was, you'll have to see. So that's really the only thing that I didn't like. This had so many tropes that I loved, and it had so many different subplots going on, and I didn't guess the ending because I am new to mystery novels, so I guess it's pretty easy for the author to beat me, but I'm learning. And I really liked everything except just the very, very, very end. Like, I mean the last couple of pages. it did not end how I wanted it to. I wanted a more concrete ending involving a particular pair of characters that I did not get, so that's just my personal preference because of what I enjoy reading. And yeah, I would love to see a sequel to this. If that's ever in the cards, I would pre-order it immediately, goodies or not. And I will definitely look into reading more by the author, as well as checking out some more books by the publishers. So I'm very excited. I already have another book on its way from Bookish First, so thank you again to Bookish First. I've already reviewed this one and put it on Amazon and Goodreads, so I will look forward to reading the next one once it gets here in the mail. And that one counted as a book with an animal for the ClearurShit Readathon because there were pigs and there were lots and lots and lots of pigeons. And they were all named after literary characters, so that was pretty cute. There's a lot of references to classics and mystery novels as well, if you're into that kind of thing. And then it also counted as Cupid because it is a genre that I love. I don't really know anything about mysteries yet. I haven't really read any classic mysteries that I would like to. But I am really loving historical fiction lately. Not you, Outlander, but everything else I am really enjoying. And yeah, that is everything that I read in December. I did have a better description of the books, but like I said, I'm so sorry. The camera just ate it. So I'll figure out, it's just that one specific battery that does that. So I will maybe just not use it. But I am very excited. I am already one book done in January, so hopefully since it's the 20th, I can get a little more finished. Now that this is done, I will, like I said, try and do a like best 5 books and worst 5 books of 2020. And I have an empties product video that I want to do of some things that I ran out of in 2020 that I liked. Oh, UPS is here with my duvet cover, so I'm gonna go check on that. And stay tuned.